Well, that was fun. It Happened One Night won the 1934 Best Picture of the Year on behalf of Columbia Pictures. It is directed by Frank Capra, who won an Academy Award for his directing for this movie. Previously, he was nominated for an Academy Award for directing Lady for a Day. Screenplay was written by Rob Riskin, who also co-wrote Lady for a Day. Now, this screenplay was an adapted screenplay, just like the screenplay he wrote a year earlier, except for this time, he actually won the award for Best Adapted Screenplay, or Best Writing out of Adaptation, as they called it back then. And to top it all off, this film stars Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert. And they both won Academy Awards. So in total, this movie won 5. 5 out of 5, which is actually a record for this time. A complete sweep, and the first film to do the director, leads, and screenplay and Best Picture award. Is the first film to get those 5. Only 2 other films have won all 5 of those awards, being One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and The Silence of the Lambs. This one obviously being the less violent and dramatic of the 2. So It Happened One Night is a romantic comedy about a rich girl named Ellie. She runs away from her father because she really wants to marry this other rich guy named King Wesley. I think his first name is just named King. They don't actually make a reference to him ruling over anything. He just has the first name King. And obviously, he's probably a very rich guy. She's engaged to him. Her father doesn't like this King Wesley guy, so she runs away, gets in a Greyhound bus where she runs into Clark Gable's character, whose name is Peter Warren. Peter Warren is a reporter for a newspaper. He hasn't really had a good story lately, and as far as the newspaper is concerned, he's fired. But now, Ellie, being missing, has got her father all riled up, puts out ads in the newspapers for a reward, it's getting on the front page, so people are all kind of on the lookout for her. Meanwhile, Peter uses this as an opportunity to write a really good story if he helps her along the way to get back to her soon-to-be husband, in exchange for writing a really great story that will pretty much get his job back. And that is how the chemistry between Gable and Colbert come about. And it's really fun to watch. Clark Gable, I gotta say, right now in the 1930s, he's like my favorite actor from the 30s. I enjoy every single scene he is in. I enjoy every line he says. And Claudette Colbert plays off of him really well. These two actors have such great chemistry together. They play off of each other, they have really great lines, and it's just fun to watch them both talk to each other. It's a fun movie, actually. It's really well done. The only problems I really had with this movie were, for one thing, there's a couple of editing missteps. There's a couple of instances where one character's actions would provoke the actions of another character, and as the character finished his action, this other character would start hers, but then the camera would jump cut to a close-up shot of her doing this, and she would just start to do it. I'll demonstrate this with my editing to see how this kind of editing works. Stuff like that happened. Another problem I had was with the ending. I'm not going to spoil the ending because I actually really like this movie, and I think you'll like this movie too, so I'm not going to spoil the ending for you. But one problem I had with the ending was I felt like the ending it was leading to was implied. It wasn't direct, it didn't show what happened, but I didn't actually like that. I actually wanted to see the more direct outcome of this. So I felt a little cheated there, but oh well. Didn't hurt the movie as a whole. It ended in a way that made me like the movie and made me feel like I didn't waste my time. It Happened One Night is a really good film. I would say it is certainly worth it to watch. and it is definitely one of the better Best Picture winners that I have seen. So if you like Clark Gable, and maybe you're curious about Claudette Colbert, please check this movie out. You won't be disappointed. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.